Hi, you are watching our second video, and I think it will be interesting for you. How to build your own sales structure. Before telling you that, I would like to explain for all the newbies or those who know little about direct sales what a sales structure is. A structure is a group of people comprising clients, leaders, consultants, and also opinion leaders. We'll be talking about this later in more detail in the following videos. Now you should just understand what a structure is. It's a group of people with certain skills and doing something to sell Vivasan products. Everything is very simple. And certainly, a logical fact is that the bigger the structure, the higher its activity, the higher is the turnover it generates, the more money you make. This is the Vivasan marketing plan. And then a question arises, how to build such a structure of yours to reach your goals and to reach the living standards you'd like to have. As a rule, people are asking one and the same question. Is there a key to success? Is there a recipe to build a structure quickly and successfully? You know, there are different aspects to both success and failure. And there are different reasons why some of our people are successful while others are not. We'll also be talking about that at some point. Most importantly, the key to success needed for everything to start flying, for people to start working, for people to start building their own structures, for the work to go on, for the first actions to be taken, is your internal decision. It's a very important point. You may think, haven't we already heard about that in the first video? And what's the point of talking about that again? No, everything is not that simple. The internal decision that you really want to build a sales structure should be firm and unshakable. Here is no step to the left or right or back, only a path forward. And that is the key. What do people do in most cases when they have to take a decision? They always have a plan A and a plan B or even a plan C, which means that if the plan A fails, they'll use plan B or plan C. Such an approach doesn't work. In the business where effort should be made, a real decision should be taken. And one shouldn't speculate if there is a plan B or a plan C. You shouldn't think about it at all, or you just won't have any chances. Have you really taken a firm internal decision to build this business? Then I'll tell you something about it. Suppose you are motivated. You are talking to people, you underwent training, you mastered skills, and we'll be talking about it separately. And now you establish contacts, you are constantly planning conversations and meetings, reaching out to new people, because you want to tell them about Vivasan products and Vivasan business, you want to build your own structure. 60% are telling you no. 20% promise to think about it. Another 20% generate a small turnover for you. Will you stay in business? What next? The second example. You've already worked with the Vivasan company for some time and already gained some success, though still a small one. You already know something about how this business is done, and all of a sudden a leader or just a person from your structure takes all his people and quits for another company because allegedly they have a better marketing plan or allegedly they have better or cheaper products or for any other reason. Will you stay in business? Do you have enough inner forces? Have you taken your inner decision to carry on? The third example. You are working, you have built a big structure, everything is fine, you have a training system, work is well organized, but now political crises kick in or economic crisis, that is the things absolutely beyond your control, and your turnover drops by 50%. Will you stay in business? Do you have a strong inner resolve to carry on? Do you understand what it's all about? That's what I mean when I'm talking about the internal decision. This is the first thing you should do, since only if you have taken it can we speak about all those other things which are important for you to have a chance at all to build a big sales structure. I'm not talking now about the structure of 3 to 4 people. I'm talking about big structures bringing together a really big number of people. That is the structure with over 1,000 people. But everything starts with a small step. Don't forget the first video. Everybody starts with a hobby stage. However, the sooner you learn about what the foundation of a big structure is, the better it is for you. We'll start with 3 important topics. Those are thoughts, skills, and system. Thoughts. To be successful, you should think in the right direction. You should master the right skills and permanently use them in practice to be a success. But all that I've just been telling you only makes sense and will bring you success if you have a system. What does it mean? It means that not only you know what it's all about, but your structure too, as well as those of your team members who also pursue the goal of building a big structure or doing business with you. So let's start with thoughts. Generally speaking, there are 6 thoughts. In the first video, we were talking about 10 rules, and now we're talking about values. We're talking about those inner psychological attitudes that you should have in this business. Thought 1. Everything depends on you. We already talked about that. What does it mean? It sounds so simple at first glance. Everything depends on you. You're responsible for everything. But let's take a closer look at this issue. Whether a person can be a success in our business and start making a lot of money depends on what borders he has set in his own head. I'd like to explain it once again to have a complete understanding. Whether you'll be a success or reach the goal you are setting depends exclusively on which boundaries you are setting in your head. That is the problem. Because people say, I'm too young, I'm too old, I'm too busy, I have too many family problems, I can't sell, I can't find people, I can't motivate, I have no abilities for this or that. All those things are the very borders people are setting in their heads. Before starting doing our business or thinking about doing it, a very correct and wise decision would be to take a sheet of paper and to write down all your doubts, the reasons why you think everything might go wrong in your business. That would be something you'll start working on first. The borders exist to be torn down, to be overcome, and you have a chance to do it. It depends on you whether you want to do it. Don't think like a staffer. When you join our business, you should think that you are among entrepreneurs. We do not talk about salaries, we talk about bonuses. We don't talk about fixed working hours. We don't talk about the mandatory presence at work. We don't have such things. That is, you don't have any obligations because you are an entrepreneur, aren't you? You have told yourself, yes, I want to start as an entrepreneur with a Vivasan company. A question for a better understanding. What do you think? Is it hard to start business with a Vivasan company? Is it risky? You know, one of the truths in our business that I would like you to know is as follows. Over my long working life, I've seen quite a few people who have lost money. The money from banks, their own money, the money of their family and friends. It happened because they took wrong decisions, and they took wrong actions because they couldn't take right decisions. Such a thing cannot happen in our business. The worst that may happen is that you won't achieve what you wanted to achieve. For example, you say, I want to reach the level of 100,000 francs per year. That's what I want to make. Then the worst that might happen is that you will be making 100 francs only or nothing at all, but you are sure not to lose money at Vivasan. And this is a big advantage of our company, the fact that the risk is minimal or non-existent. The only risk you're exposed to and it's a risk too, is that you might waste your time and efforts on something that will turn out to be of no interest for you. Or you'll feel that to continue this work is not your calling. This is the only risk you're taking. Thus the phrase, "don't think like a staffer," means you should give a careful thinking to what is your responsibility. You're responsible for everything because entrepreneurs are personally responsible for everything. There is no one to pass the buck to, whereas staffers like to do that. If something goes wrong or a problem arises, it means that someone else is to blame, some external factors, or the company, or the country's president. Everybody is to blame except for the guy himself, the first problem. The second one is that people don't understand that problems must be solved. You can't discuss problems for hours and then not to solve them. Problems must be analyzed and solved. This is a very important point in our business. Staffers don't do it. They don't like it. They always try to fence themselves from the problems. But in our business, such an approach doesn't work. It's always me who is responsible for both my success and my failure. So the next question is, and how do entrepreneurs think? Let's give some examples. Let's take the word work. Please believe me, I don't like to speak badly about anything here. I'm just trying to work out an attitude towards business and approach to it. Staffers are running away from the word work. Most staffers think from dawn till night how to work less, getting the same salary, don't they? This is what occupies their thoughts. Monday is a bad day, with a whole week ahead. Friday is a fantastic day, 2 more hours and I'm free. That is their attitude towards the word work. Most staffers run like crazy from the word work. They don't want even to hear the word work. It brings about bad feelings in them. Whereas for the entrepreneur, work is fantastic. Work means being creative. Work means inspiration. Work means enthusiasm. Work means self-fulfillment. Work means freedom. You see, the entrepreneur thinks quite differently. For him, there is nothing negative about work. It's something he's doing and doing it with pleasure to reach what I've just been talking about: freedom, self-fulfillment, self-affirmation, independence, the ability to realize one's creative potential. That's what work is for him. Or, for example, let's consider incomes. The staffer wants to get a high income from the very beginning. The more, the better. Whereas the entrepreneur knows it absolutely for sure that in the first 2 or 3 months there is no way to make any serious money, because if you're on the hobby or amateur level at Vivasan, you won't have any big turnover. Perhaps you'll be able to make a little money, but you shouldn't expect any serious revenues at that stage. But he knows it for sure. If I take efforts, if I master skills, if I have a structure and a system in place, then sometime later I'll be making much more money, a kind of money a staffer will never make. And that is the difference between how entrepreneurs and staffers think. And those who want to work in our business should think like entrepreneurs. The second thought is obsession. Many people don't like this word, but think, what does the word obsession mean? Obsession means that I take an obligation to do something and I fulfill this obligation with an unbending stubbornness. You see, you can't put together a business to organize manufacturing in Switzerland if your approach is, now it's interesting for me, tomorrow it's not. You should always be obsessed with your business. You should be obsessed with trying to make it better and better every day. The same is true about your structure. You should always think about what could be improved there tomorrow, how to better train people, how to bring still more people into your organization. That's what I call obsession. How to increase the efficiency of product trainings, how to better consult my clients. All this obsession too. And think about successful people. They are all obsessed. It's their inner engine. It's the energy that helps people to withstand, to get through the hardest crises, to reach their goals. Work hard, it's logical. What does it mean? Why have I written it here? Because I want to dispel one fallacy, to do away with one false statement. In our business, people are often told at the very beginning, before they even get registered with the company, you only have to register 2 or 3 guys and then everything will go all by itself. My dear friends, it's a lie. It's not the case. You have to work hard. It's a must to motivate yourself, to continue developing yourself. You should work hard on mastering the skills and then brushing them up to perfection in practice. You should work hard giving regular trainings, work hard motivating other people. You should work hard to build a big structure and to keep it active. And all the other things are lies. You should work hard, and it's a must. And if you want to get into the business and think that you won't have to work hard, you'll be disappointed. And I'd rather tell you this in the second video than in the seventh one. Thought 6. This is confidence. This is to believe in yourself, to be confident in your strengths. In the first video, I already mentioned that. Now I want to say it another time. You should develop self-confidence. And to develop self-confidence is only possible by reaching good results, by gathering information, by practicing and once again practicing. That is by using in practice all those things I've been telling you about. By doing so, you will develop confidence in your strength, and there is no other way. You think to yourself, what can you do very well? You don't think about what's to be done. You do it automatically because you know how to do it, and you are sure that you'll get a good result. That's exactly what you can reach in our business. If you master the skills we're now moving to, if you perfect them, and if you're able to use them in practice, you will be acting exactly as in any other type of activity which you are proficient in now. This is very important. Let's move to another topic, to skills. We've been talking about skills in both the first and the second video. What skills are there that you should master? There are 7 of them. The ones that are extremely important in our business. The first skill is to find people who are interested. Big problem. People say, I don't know anybody. How can I sell anything to my relatives, to my mom or granny? Ladies and gentlemen, I'll show you the system of work where all that is just out of question. For many people, this first skill is a huge problem because they misunderstand it, because they have a wrong approach. If you have a correct approach to mastering this first skill, you may be sure that your business has halfway started working on its own. I promise you that. But to achieve that, you will have to work a little on your thoughts. And as for how exactly to do it, I'll explain this in the next video. Inviting to a presentation. How the presentation itself should be made doesn't matter. But people should be invited there. It's not a big problem to find people with whom you are in contact, but you should think about how you will be talking to these people, how you will be inviting them. This is a skill that you should master. It's not hard, but you will have to learn this skill. So to find people, to establish contacts, to invite them to a presentation, that is important. Whether it's you who makes the presentation or other people, it's not important. We'll look at that later. The third skill is the presentation itself, how I'll be making a presentation, because there are different presentations. There are one-on-one presentation, there are presentation for a group of people, there are presentation on Skype, WhatsApp, Zoom. There are all kinds of different presentations. How you can make a presentation so that people wouldn't lose interest and stay positive towards you. Even the best presentation with the best people invited may result in negative questions and objections, and this is a very normal thing. People don't understand some things, or you explain them poorly. There could be different reasons here. You should know how best to react to negative questions, objections, or arguments. You'll have to do it. And it's another skill. And I can tell you right now in advance, more detail in other videos, that this should be learned and practiced often. Then your intuition will kick in, and only with intuition professionalism will come. Another important skill is how to wrap up the conversation. After the presentation, you should wrap it up correctly. You should get a good result from your meeting. Perhaps the guy will get registered and start doing business with you. Perhaps he'll only wish to buy products or to do business as well. You should be able to wrap up the conversation correctly. Many people can't do it, and then they're surprised that after a great presentation, all of a sudden, they learn that people have registered with some other structure because another leader there was able to better wrap up a meeting with them. Another skill is a quick start. It's another skill, isn't it? It doesn't make any sense to get into business, to try to do business, to visit workshops and other information events, to watch videos and then not to start. A quick start is a very important aspect, and certain skills are needed for a quick start. Certain things should be done to have a quick start. In particular, you should be able to motivate people, because a fast start can be a perfect motivator. If a person over a month or two is already making 30 or 40 francs just by registering a couple of people, and you've given him this chance by your consultations, then he is motivated. We'll be talking about it more because a fast start is one of the important foundations of our business. And the seventh skill is promotion of events. It's necessary to know how to invite people to trainings, events and workshops. And it goes without saying that you should know how to hold them. Certainly, we are in a bad situation now because of the coronavirus pandemic. No events take place, but this will end sooner or later. And for our business, events, workshops and training sessions are one of the major foundations. You will never be able to build a big structure if you don't excel in the seventh skill. The next topic is the system. So we have understood how one should think to get programmed for success, how to understand if you are programmed for success and if you have chances to reach it. It is explained by the thoughts given here. Then I told you which skills you should have and use to have a chance to be a success in our business. And now we are talking about the system. Since if you have all those things, correct thoughts, good skills, that's just fine. My congratulations. But both your structures and your team should also be able to master all those things, because you want sometime later to have a big structure with leaders in it. But it can only happen if all that totality of thoughts and all that information don't rest only in your head. If you have a system penetrating deep into your structure, the system of information spreading, I can give you a lot of examples when people have a big structure but don't have revenues. But how is it possible? It happens because they have no system. There are people with smaller structures and at the same time they have excellent revenues. How can they do it? Because they have a system of bringing information to the structure. That's exactly what we'll be talking about. Such a system has 6 important components. The first is a system of getting new clients. Then you need a system of servicing clients. You need a system of bringing in consultants and identifying future new leaders, a quick start system, a system of event promotion, and a system of leader development. That's the way the picture looks like. That's what you need. Those are the 6 systems that would bring you to success. And in our following videos, we'll be covering the following topics. First of all, the skills, and secondly, the system. How the system should work, which system you should have, so that everybody would understand them, so that everybody would use them, so that you would build a big working structure. Many people fail in our business because they don't understand this. Many people fail in our business because they are unwilling to understand this. Because our business is not a lottery when you're just lucky to register quite by chance excellent people who will be doing your work. No, our business doesn't work this way. Our business works in a very simple way, by the system. As any other business does, whether it's a classical scheme or direct sales, you need a system and you need a strategy. That's what I've tried to explain to you here. You need thoughts that would program you for success, skills that you'll have to learn, and the system. I would like to visually clarify this thought for you with the help of a schematic drawing of a funnel. Imagine that you have a good system that brought you a lot of clients. Suppose you are telling them professionally and understandably about the Vivasan business during each of your meetings with them. Then you can expect that some clients will end up at the hobby stage with the help of this funnel. If then those people are offered an efficient training system at the hobby level, allowing them to learn the necessary skills, then they will migrate quite quickly from the hobby to the amateur stage. People will be learning on the amateur stage, which means developing their skills, getting the first impression of the system, and participating in the work of the system, which means that amateurs at that stage are being helped to develop themselves. It goes without saying that they are being helped by pros and experts, that is, by the people on a higher level. So, if the amateur works well, then some of them, certainly not all, will become pros. And now you already see how people are developed. This funnel only works if on each of its levels there is a system helping people to come from one stage to the next one and move on. Actually, that's exactly what our business is all about. I hope that I've been able to give you a general outline of what a sales structure is. It's not registration only. No, registration is only a part of work, and it's not only sales. Sales are also just a part of work. If you want to build a big structure, you should change your mindset correspondingly. You need thoughts, you need skills, and you need a system. That's the message I was trying to get across to you in the second video. And naturally, many people have now started thinking, should I carry on or should I stop? Whether I am interested in this kind of activities or no. The next video is about the skills that have to be learned. Stay safe. Many thanks.